You may think that in battle anything goes, but that could not be further from the truth. In fact, there are many rules and laws countries have to follow when at war. Most of these pertain to things that they can't use. There are many weapons which have been developed which would cause absolute chaos if used. That's why pretty much every country in the world has agreed never to use them. From sci-fi like Rays of Doom to bats that explode, here are some illegal military weapons. Lasers. I'm sure at some point we've all had a laser pointer. They're pretty fun and anyone can buy them online. But lasers made for consumers are very different to ones made for militaries. Warfare lasers are used to blind enemies permanently. They're very powerful and cause bad damage to the eyes. They're developed mainly to shine at aircrafts. This is in the hope that it blinds the pilot and the aircraft crashes. But there exists a worldwide ban on all weapons which cause permanent blindness. However, weapons that cause temporary blindness, called dazzlers, are legal. These are sometimes used by the US Navy to stop rogue boats and helicopters. The US military's most powerful laser is the Boeing YAL-1. This is an airborne laser which is mounted on an aeroplane. Flamethrowers. It may sound like something from a video game or movie, but in many wars, flamethrowers have been used. These were banned because they're often used near civilians. Also, it's very difficult to aim well with a flamethrower. Normally the fire gets out of control and spreads to a civilian area. This can destroy entire towns and also harm many civilians. These were banned by the UN. Protocol 3 of the Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons outlaws these. Guerrilla soldiers sometimes use civilians as human shields. So banning flamethrowers means that more civilians will be saved. That's because no one can go into a village and burn the entire thing up within minutes. The US military does still train with flamethrowers. But the last time the US actually used these was in the Vietnam War, which ended in 1975. Dirty bombs. A dirty bomb is a bomb laced with radioactive material. Following the detonation, there is radioactive residue which is emitted. This leaves the entire area very dangerous and uninhabitable. No matter who wins the battle, no one can go on the land. That's because it's simply too toxic and radioactive. Salted bombs are similar to dirty bombs, only they're nuclear instead of radioactive. When a dirty bomb is detonated, there's a massive smoke cloud. These would have a massive impact on civilians' lives, and they would also make entire cities totally uninhabitable. Spike pits. One of the worst weapons the Viet Cong used in the Vietnam War were spike pits. They would use leaves to conceal these booby traps. Soldiers would stumble on the pile of leaves but then fall through into a hole. In that hole were gigantic metal or wooden spikes. Sometimes soldiers would fall on these and pass away instantly. Other times they would get stuck and pass away very slowly. Sometimes these spikes will even be smeared with poison. But spike pits have actually been around for centuries. They were used in the Pacific during World War II, but the United Nations banned these in 1979. They're listed as banned under Protocol 2 of the Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons. Interestingly, these were actually listed as a bioweapon. That's because many people who fell in and survived would get infections later. Directed energy weapons. We've all seen death beams in movies, but did you know these gigantic lasers are actually real? These are known as direct energy weapons or phasers. These energy weapons include sonic cannons, lasers, and plasma rifles. Any of these directed energy weapons that can take a life are banned. These weapons have incredibly long ranges. And although use of them is banned, brand new ones are being made in 2020. The USA is making direct energy weapons to take out ballistic missiles and hypersonic cruise missiles. And similar technology is being developed by Russia, China, India, the UK, and Iran. Rifles that shoot plasma have also been developed. And Raytheon's phaser emits microwaves. This can harm humans and also destroy the elements inside a drone. Some of these directed energy weapons can take out enemies instantly, while others can slowly cook people. Bat bombs. Bats are already pretty scary animals, but imagine if they were strapped with napalm explosives. Well, that's exactly what the US developed in World War II. They mounted bats with napalm-like explosives. They hoped that these bats would roost under the roofs of Japanese homes. They would then spread the napalm and burn down entire cities. The project was known as X-Ray. And while it was tested, it was never successful. But now anything like this is banned. That's not only because napalm use is banned, but also because it's very nasty for the animals carrying the explosive. Unexploded bombs. Almost every day an unexploded bomb from a war is found. It's estimated there's around 400 million unexploded munitions around the world. And every year 2,000 tons of unexploded munitions from World War II are found in Germany alone. There's even various lost nuclear bombs in the USA. But if any of these unexploded bombs are ever found, they can never be used in war. Protocol 5 of the Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons bans unexploded bombs. These are referred to by the UN as explosive remnants of war. This not only includes bombs but artillery shells too. They had to pass this law because unexploded bombs were used by Afghanistani guerrillas in the 1990s. These were left behind by the Soviets after a previous battle. Bioweapons. Bioweapons are weapons of a biological kind. They've been used for centuries, and while being totally natural, they can wipe out millions of people. But the United Nations Geneva Protocol outlaws these. This is thanks to the Biological Weapons Convention. You can't use diseases like smallpox to harm armies or civilians. And you also can't use animals or bugs to spread disease. Use of bioweapons spreads all the way back to the Mongols. They would use catapults to send over diseased people. This would then spread the disease to their enemies and take them out. Gases. One of the worst weapons of war comes in the form of gases, but almost all of them are illegal to use on the battlefield. Mustard gas, which was used to clear trenches in World War I, is prohibited. It's brown in color and causes the lungs to fill with fluid. This effectively makes whoever inhales it drown on dry land. Nerve agents or nerve gases are also banned. These were outlawed by The Hague and Geneva because of how bad they are. They cause your nervous system to shut down, taking you out. Mustard gas, also used in World War I, is outlawed. This was very scary because it's odorless and colorless, but it causes major damage to your proteins and takes your life. Believe it or not, tear gas is also not allowed to be used in wars, even though riot police often use it on civilians. But it was actually banned by the Hague Convention, and the same is true for pepper spray, which can be bought by civilians in most countries. Napalm. Similar to flamethrowers, napalm is a burning agent. It was used a lot in the Vietnam War, but it can't be used anymore as it's been made illegal. That's because the fires often spread to civilian areas. Plastic landmines. Plastic landmines are not more dangerous than metal landmines, which are legal. So why exactly are they banned? Well, because they're not picked up by metal detectors, they're very hard to detect. Also, plastic pieces can't be x-rayed by doctors. This makes it very hard to treat any injuries from them. Also, civilians are often harmed by these in times of peace. So in 1979, during the Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons, they were outlawed. This is per Protocol 1 of that convention. But now it's time to make your voice heard. Comment below which was the scariest weapon on this list. If you want some more amazing videos, check out my second channel. But as always, thanks for watching. There are some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.